All right, welcome everybody. I am Dana Sparks with Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and today's presentation is from Joe Gaeta of Zillow, and we are so excited that he is going to show all of us, how you can have a 3D photo on all of your listings on Zillow. So I'm not sure if you guys are all aware, but all of y'all, by all y'all, you can tell I'm from the north. Yeah, right. Everyone has an agent profile on Zillow by virtue of being the member of FMLS, Georgia MLS. You guys have a profile on Zillow. A lot of y'all don't know it. So a lot of you guys can get way more business from Zillow than you realize. But for you listing agents, Zillow has an awesome 3D picture service that right now is for free. And Joe's going to share with you some statistics of how that works, how to do it, and the increase in attention to your listing by virtue of having the 3D pictures. So Joe, I'm going to make you the host so you can share your screen. So give me 1 second, then I got to turn up, then I'm going to mute myself here, turn up so we can hear you there.
All right, so, I'm going to pause my screen for a second. I'm going to do one thing while you do that, okay?
All right. All right, so I am making Joe the host. He is doing something. Oops. I didn't realize I was up here, guys. Sorry. This is a good way to see how you look from behind. You think sticking around? How's my hair? Looking good. Looking good. All right. And we will wait for Joe, and then I'm gonna mute myself here, turn myself up there. I've got echo if I have them both. So for you guys watching via Zoom, you guys, I'm gonna have to mute myself here so it doesn't echo. So ask any questions via the chat function. All right, hang on 1 second, Joe, and let me mute myself here and turn up the volume on the computer in the workroom. You're good to go, Joe.
Whoa, okay, good. So am I echoing? Because you just did. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, great. Dana, thanks so much for having me. Good seeing your face. I miss the dogs that are usually next to you during our time that you were at home. But I was talking with Dana a few weeks back, and there's things that Lisa was just saying something that just kind of made me smile, chuckle inside, about the frustration of, does anyone know a good lender? And, you know, at Zillow, we have 200 million unique visitors. Think about that for a second. 200 million unique visitors coming to our site each month. And at Zillow, we really listen to what they're asking. We, in fact, do surveys with the consumer. And in a big number, they're telling us that they want to see more virtual, more 3D in this new world that we live in, where everyone's trying to, they're eliminating a lot of the listings online based on the pictures and based on what they can see. They even want to see floor plans, believe it or not. So I want to give you an idea that should resonate with you. Just again, based off what Lisa said, if you can go into a listing appointment and with confidence, and you should say this with confidence, Zillow is partnered with Maximum One. We work very closely with Dana on other projects. And when you think of a roadshow that I just did across the United States, with my team, this virtual roadshow only included about 125 brokers across the United States. And let me tell you, there are hundreds upon hundreds of brokers in the US. And the reason we call them partners is because they lock arms with us and they follow our lead and they say, you know what, that makes good sense. And there's times where Dan will tell us, Joe, I don't like that. and I take that and we learn from that. But I want to share with you what the consumer is demanding. That 200 million people, they want to see 3D. Now, all of you on your mobile apps, you can go into your store, your app store, whether it's an iPhone or a Droid, and you can download the Zillow 3D app. In fact, I sent an email off to Dana and the team that you guys could share, they could share with all of you to kind of walk you through it. There's YouTube videos. You can even ask your photographer to shoot a Zillow 3D. By the way, I'm a grandfather of 6, nearly 60 now, and I can do this, and I'm not tech savvy. Trust me. If you're sitting there saying, I can't do this, well, you're right. You can't. If you keep saying you can't do this. And you might be also saying, it's a hot market, Joe. I really get 5 offers in the first 24 hours, and 2 of those are cash. So is the rest of the country. Everyone's in a hot market. But when you go into a listing, you're really listing for where the puck is going next. Just like Wayne Gretzky used to say, he was successful at scoring because he didn't play where the puck was. He skated to where the puck was going. He knew what the next play was. Our market is going to change. So get into the habits early. We're going to surge your property. So when you're with Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Ms. or Mr. Seller, you're going to be able to say to them, you know, we are partnered with Zillow. And one of the things that we do when we list a property is we're going to do a Zillow 3D home. What that means for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is that we're going to surge your property on Zillow for the first 7 days that it's on Zillow. But think about that for a second. It's a hot market. So give them something that makes sense to them. The other piece of that is that we're going to give you a branded and non-branded version. You could use it on your social media. You could use it for emails. You could use it in any other source of promoting your properties. The other thing is that consumers love these 3Ds so much that they're saving them 32% more than listings that don't have a Zillow 3D. We're highlighting them on maps, on mobile devices, on laptops, on iPads. We're giving the consumer the ability to actually search for property based on the fact that it has 3D. Now, this is going to be one of those aha moments for you, I hope. But I did a little search on Atlanta last night before this call, and it showed me that there was 2,182 agent listings with only 100 listings that had 3D. And I'm not talking Zillow 3D. I'm talking 3D like Matterport and Zillow. There's other 3D properties out there. I'm not talking about the virtual tours that are provided by the MLS that end up in the virtual tour link. I'm talking about 3D where it's highlighted. That's less than 5% of total addressable market. So to Lisa's point, frustration is the consumer wants it. Go into that listing appointment and say, we're partnered with Zillow. We're going to shoot a 3D. Here's why it's important to you. We're going to surge the property for the first 7 days. And the consumer saves listings with Zillow 3D 32% more than listings that don't. If there's anything you got out of the few minutes I'm with you today, it's that right there. Oh, by the way, let me show you where it's going. In a few months, when we get past, it's going to fly by after the first of the year. You may have seen some of this testing already going on in Atlanta, and I was the guy behind that testing, and I did it also in Dallas. The consumer told us before COVID, in the fall of 2019, we surveyed 13,000 people, and they said that they wanted to see floor plans What was the percentage of people that said they wanted to see floor plans on listings on Zillow? 60% of consumers. During the height of COVID last summer, NAR did an article, and that number jumped to 70%. So I'm going to be coming to Dana in the first part of next year, and I'm going to be introducing how 3D at Zillow is going to move over to an interactive floor plan where the consumer can really get a good feel of that property. But if I don't have you all starting to run with me with the free version of 3D now, and by the way, if you do a 2,000 square foot home, which I did a test on in Atlanta, when we first came out with 3D in the fall of 2018, I knocked out a 2,000 square foot home under 15 minutes, published to Zillow. And I'm telling you, and I mean this, I'm just a Papa Joe with grandkids. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how to use this technology. So I want to take that fear factor that many of you have when it comes to listings. Let me just go live for you for a second, if you don't mind. Here's Atlanta real estate. Again, I pulled this up this morning. And right now there are 2,173 agent listings. And by the way that I did my search was acting as if I was buying a home. I eliminated multifamily, I eliminated lots and land, apartments, manufacturing, and I just went with houses, townhouses, townhomes, and condos. The consumer is being educated, that 200 million people that come to our site, those unique visitors, that they can click on must have a 3D tour and watch that number drop to 98 agent listings. The point I wanted to make with all of you this morning is your team, Dana and the leadership, they've sent you everything on how to start moving forward with just the first simple step. I encourage you, go on to Zillow and start looking at a zip code, and then click on the more button and click on how many have 3D. And then you're going to realize the opportunity that you can walk into a listing appointment and confidently say, we're partnered with Zillow. And we know the importance of Zillow 3D. And here's why we're going to do it. We're going to surge your property for the first 7 days. And we know the consumer is saving your property that has a 3D 32% more likely to do it than a listing that doesn't. Be confident in that. That's why we're partnered with you. That's why Dana has me on this call with you. Dana, that's it. That hopefully, and I'm Italian, I try to hug you and love you. And sometimes we're painful, we hug too tight, but I just want to see you guys do it. And just like Lisa had with the frustration, we have our own agents asking, do we have a good mortgage company or lender? Do you guys have a really good option to go into a listing appointment and beat your competition? Yeah, you do. Zillow 3D.
All right, any questions, anybody? Okay, Joe, we have a lot of questions.
Okay.
And for those of you guys on Zoom, you can type in any questions in the chat. Okay.
My first question is, when will the floor plan platform be available?
When will the floor plan platform be available?
So we're testing it currently in Denver. We've already did a launch of it in Atlanta in the last 45 days of 2020. It was a very successful beta test. We're looking for the first part of January. And when anyone says that it's Zillow, and I'm very smart about this, our goal is to be the first part of January in Atlanta. It may be February 1st, but it will be first quarter that I'm going to be able to come to Dana and say, okay, we have interactive floor plans as well. So hopefully that helps you. What sort of camera gear is required? Here's the easy answer to that. You could use your iPhone or your Droid. I have a Samsung. you can be careful. If you plan on doing these yourself, go ahead and just Google a gimbal for your mobile device, a gimbal. I think it's GIMBEL or something like that. Don't grade me on that spelling. But you can attach a gimbal, which helps you have a steady hand as you do your video. But you have to have already gone into your app store and downloaded Zillow 3D app, and you'll find it there. It's not hiding from you. And so you're good, both Droid and iPhone, and or you can use a Ricoh Theta V or a Ricoh Theta Z. Those are 3D cameras. I want to get you guys baby stepping right now. So you can also ask your photographer if they could shoot it for you.
And Joe, did you also say there are tutorials on YouTube how to put it together?
Yes. I love there's times where people, my friends like Dana, will call me with a question and I'm on the phone with her and I Google it to get the answer, because there's just so much. I know you guys are overwhelmed. There's so much going on, and I don't want to be one more lift. I want this to be easy. It's like when it's like anything else, you know, everyone hates to start the new year and, okay, I'm gonna start working out. It's a pain in the butt. But once you get into a routine and you start figuring it out, and you know what, you're in a good stride. It's just like anything else. You didn't become great listing agents overnight. You stepped all over yourself with your verbiage and what you were saying. You probably wrote out contracts that you had to bring back to Dana or someone else in your leadership, and you're like, no, that doesn't make sense. No, that's not right. And then eventually you became proficient at it. That's the same thing with this. Don't be afraid of the technology. Again, use me as your example. This isn't rocket science. It's only hard if you believe it's hard. You're muted, Dana. Oh.
Okay, hang on, Joe. We got more questions.
I was gonna ask, is this available also for Zillow, for sell by owners, for people selling their own properties? Is this something that's available for them to use?
So Joe, the question is this available for Zillow for sale by owner properties, or is this just an agent profile Zillow thing?
Yeah, it is available to FSBOs. I can tell you just from a lot of my research, I don't have anything in hard writing, but most FSBOs aren't even aware that they can do this. It's one of the reasons that it's a great way to go into a FSBO. Most FSBOs end up listing with an agent after a struggle. I know right now this market is allowing more FSBOs to sell on their own because the price, the price values have gone up. But I want you guys to hear it from our end. You're probably like, why does Zillow have FSBOs on Zillow? Well, now FSBOs on Zillow are on another tab, because now we're part of the MLS. We're like you, we're a broker. We can't commingle for sale by owner listings next to for sale listings. So a lot of people are not even finding those FSBO listings. They're not aware that there's two tabs on Zillow, and I don't even know if you guys are aware there's two tabs on Zillow. It says agent listings, and it then says other listings. If I shared my screen again, see right here, there's your agent listings, and then there's 5 other listings. So in many senses, since there's commingling rules, a lot of FSBOs are really struggling for visibility. Another great reason for you to go in there and win those listings. I used to be, before we went MLS and IDX, I used to hear from a lot of brokers and agents that said, we don't care that your listing, FSBO listings are next to Zillow. It gives us an opportunity to start, working them as a lead. And it's a lot easier to find them because every day they get new notifications that, oh, we've got more FSBOs that have come online to Zillow, and they start dripping on them in their typical marketing. But yes, they can. Go ahead, Dana. Any other questions?
Joe, are you today? So half lucky.
Dana, you sound like you should be at a baseball park. Now batting.
I was trying to do my Lou Gehrig impression where it
Yes,
echoes
yes.
in the movie.
It echoed.
Okay, you guys
That's
have to
right.
be our age to have seen
You
that
have to
movie.
be a
You know what
little-
I'm talking about.
Mark is smiling.
Joe, I have a question. Are you in a position, and you may not be, to run through how an agent, where they get their profile and how they can see their profile and do that? Or is that more of a YouTube tutorial? Like you have a
Again,
sample agent where you can show them how to access their own Zillow profile?
well, you know, the simple part is you can't break Zillow. Just go on to Zillow, and if I shared my screen again, I haven't done that type of thing in probably 5 years, but there are, just like I shared with the fact that you can go on to YouTube and find videos on how to create a Zillow 3D. Make sure you type in Zillow, create in a Zillow 3D. There are great videos on how to create my profile on Zillow. Absolutely, and you don't be afraid of the fact that it says how to create your premier agent profile on Zillow. And you're like, well, I'm not a premier agent. Well, don't worry about that. It's the same profile that you have. So there are tutorials, there are videos that you can find.
Okay.
And don't let anyone in the public eye ever get to Zillow and type your name in and there's an avatar there and there's no picture. It's like, it's strike one. Remember, a lot of people make their decisions based on reviews. Make sure you're always asking for reviews. There was a point where an agent that had 10 or more reviews on Zillow received 5 times more leads than agents that didn't. And those were organic leads. Those weren't paid. People just like yourself, when you go to look to buy a new product, let's say you need a new TV, first thing you do is you type in the brand or, best flat screen TV, 72-inch, whatever size you're getting. And then you're going to see all the reviews. They're doing the same thing with agents. So make sure that you're getting your reviews.
All right, another question.
How do you get paid for the 3D? Is there going to be an extra charge? Is this something that starts out as a free service on Zillow and then there'll be a charge? Or I guess I'm just want to know, how do you get paid for that? Because like, ain't nothing for free.
Could you hear, Joe? The question is fee for the 3D pictures on Zillow.
Okay, so it's a great question. What's in it for Zillow is a better experience for the consumer. The Zillow 3D on your phone. Do I have my phone next to me? Yes, I do. So if you capture, I guess, of course, looks like a ghost. But anyway, your camera that allows you to shoot the 3D on your iPhone or your Droid is free. And it has been free since we came out with it in 2018. That is the base product. 3D is where they can, go throughout the room and push on the arrows and navigate through the room. The only thing that will cost you anything is if you decide to start doing the floor plans. You won't be able to do that on a mobile. You'll have to upgrade to the Ricoh Theta V. And if you want to write that down, it's Ricoh, R-I-C-O-H, Theta, T-H-E-T-A, V, just the letter V, or the letter Z. That's about a $400 camera. And you can go on to Amazon and buy them, and you'll buy a tripod. Tripod might be about $50. And once you have that, the Ricoh Theta V and tripod, then you can do multiple floor plans, unlimited. Your cost will be just the equipment so that you can do the floor plan. But as we sit right now, 3D is free. It's the floor plan that you'll need to invest in equipment so that you can capture that, or you just have your photographer capture it for you. And by the way, Zillow is training photographers in the Atlanta market as we get to that point so that they're ready to start shooting 3D. Oh, excuse me, 3D and floor plan. Dana's going to get her workout going back and forth.
Yes, but I stopped the echo.
Yeah, you did. Good job. Dana.
All right. Joe, I don't see any more. We don't have any more questions here, and I don't see any on the chat.
Okay. How big was our audience today? Did we have a good group?
6 on chat.
17 here and 6 on the chat.
All right, great. You all have an amazing day. Don't worry about technology. You know, it's the agents that embrace technology that are always going to be a step ahead of the agents that don't. We're in a new world. Everything is pointing that way. So the more that you baby step your way into it and embrace it, it's going to be easier. The more that you, I call it the Heisman stiff arm, and keep it away from you, the further back you'll be. I do still believe this is a relationship business. You know, Zillow is Zillow, but you guys are out in the field and you're creating the relationships, not Zillow. Go into those relationships by providing the best, by saying, this is how I'm going to market your home. This is why it makes sense. And I wish you all the best. And, you know, Dana, you know, if she gets other questions from you all, I'll be happy to answer them via email. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.